Let's go. Let's go. You know the frequency, yeah. You know the frequency. Come on. You know the frequency, yeah. You know the frequency.
I've been upgrading my frequency. I've been protecting my energy. I've been upgrading my frequency. No matter what, I protect my energy. We off the grid.
Yeah, we are back. We are back for another episode of the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. I am your host, B. Carter.
Double D, Derek Demers, Charlie P. What's going on?
Yes, we are back. We are back for another great episode. What's going on, fellas?
What's happening? Charlie, what's up?
Three amigos here. So,
Yep.
Missing Jasmine again.
We got a new setup. I wanted to try a new setup at WMB1 Radio. You know, I want to get more of a couch feel. You know, sit down with you guys.
I hope I don't fall asleep here.
no.
How would you fall asleep?
We got comfy couch here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, a comfy couch.
Yeah.
Cheers are good, man.
Appreciate you coming in and making this happen.
Great idea.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I've been here all day. WMB1 Radio, they're extending some things that I want to announce. I was here earlier. The thing what they call the record room. You know, the record room is something similar to the tiny desk. You ever see the tiny desk where artists just performing their music? And they had like 3 artists today that they were filming that you're gonna be able to watch on the website and YouTube and everything like that. Some amazing artists, got spoken word artists, a great singer, a couple of great singers, and they're gonna have these programs that is gonna highlight artists from the area, outside the area, to come in and sing live and be recorded on the WMB1 Radio website. They're gonna have a link, the record room, so where these artists come and they perform live for you right in front of the camera. So it was a great experience. A few good artists. I got the pleasure to interview a couple of them, very talented people. We talked about music and stuff like that. It's a good idea. It's something that's add on to the WMB1 Radio brand.
That's awesome.
So shout out to Margarita,
Yeah, that was
Brian, J9, Zio. They're all here putting all that together.
Yeah, when it was on its ground level, when they were talking about it, I was like, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
You know? Ain't nobody else doing it. So
No.
guess what? Do it.
So get in touch with us. If you're an aspiring artist, that you have some music that you want to help promote and put it out there, this is a good way of doing it. Go to the website, go to WMB1 Radio, get in contact with the radio station, and you know, if you want to be part of the record room and perform in the record room, it's a good experience. So be on the lookout for that. Go to WMB1.com for that. But we are here at the Frequency Live. We have a great show for you today. Don't we, guys? We have a great show.
Great show, man. And well, they're all great. You know, as long as we're here talking with each other and discussing things, I always say it's great, because how many people are not doing this, right?
Exactly.
And we're doing it every single week.
Yes, every single week. Yeah, we have a great show. We're going to talk a lot of things. Obviously, we get into politics a little bit. There's a couple of questions I want to ask, like, you know, can we run the country like a corporation? We're going to get, you know, our opinions on that. These Eversource rates, these gas and electric Eversource rates, we're going to discuss that also, and how it is going to affect the community. Also, I don't know if anybody saw the clip of PK Sudan. He is a hockey player / hockey analyst. He went in on the NBA and its culture and its players comparison to hockey players. And we're gonna have a discussion about that. And a very important discussion I really want to speak on, men's mental health. The question is does society really care about men and what men feel what's going through? You know, like I in my own opinion, I feel that pain pain is looked at when it comes from a man. And I think that it's not as masculine to speak on your vulnerability as a man. And I want to have a discussion about that, and how it can possibly affect a man that you may not understand or care enough to know, and why things happen, and why a man may react, may, you know, if it's in a positive or negative or out of character way. So I really want to discuss that. We always talk, you know, you always hear like it's cool for women, and it's normal for women to express their emotion, but with men, that's difficult, and it has an effect on them. We're gonna really dig deep into that, and its mental health. And then obviously it's Black History Month. That's my fault. I should have been the last couple of shows. We should have been going heavy on that, and so I'm definitely gonna go heavy on that. I want to celebrate everyone that are in Black history, not just Black history, because I believe Black history is American history, and we're gonna teach some people that Black history is American history, because a lot of things in America, a lot of things in this world would not be here if it wasn't for Black inventors or the Black mind. You know, case in point, just to give you an example, heart surgery. Let me tell you, a Black man invented that. It is a movie. Most Def is the star of it, and it was a Black man who created not created heart surgery in itself, but a certain heart surgery that is still used today. But we're gonna get into that. But we're gonna get right into the news with Double D. Let's get into it, D. Double D.
What's happening?
What's going on?
So listen, I got one news item this week, because I know we have so much other stuff to talk about. I see so much stuff online, whether it's like Facebook, my friends, or like New Bedford Guide or whatever, talking about these rate hikes with Eversource, right? And the thing that's disturbing is like the delivery, right? The delivery rate is sometimes more than the actual like gas bill.
Exactly.
It's really crazy. So just a couple of things that I dug up a little bit. The Department of Public Utilities, which is called DPU, which is like a branch separate but under our governor, they authorized a 30 to 38% increase with them.
Wow.
From Eversource, the Middleborough Electric. There's like I think like 7 or 8 providers throughout the state. They like pretty much allowed them to those heavy rate hikes. And then some of those rate hikes, like I get it. So a piece of it is like, if you call, what's the name of the company that they'll come and insulate your house? Right? What is the name? I had them. Mass Save. Okay, so I had Mass Save. So a portion of your electric bill, okay, whether it's a couple cents here and there, whatever, goes to Mass Save or goes to the section that they'll send Mass Save to your house to insulate almost for free.
Yes.
Right? Pennies on the dollar. And I did my whole house. So, I took advantage of that, as people should. So that's like their excuse of like, hey, we had to jack up the prices. However, I think that's not always the case. I feel like they're jacking up way more than that. But anyway, my question is, or what I have a problem with is, like 2 days ago, Maura Healey's like, meaning, we need to like, get these, these rates down, and you need to do something, and people can't afford this. 2 years ago, they allowed these companies to jack up these prices. So I mean, and then she doesn't take any responsibility for it. So we sit here all the time, and
So that's a state-run organization.
It's yeah. I mean, she's head of the state.
No, I mean the that allow the hikes, that state-run, right?
So the Department of Public Utilities is like an individual kind of a entity or something.
Yeah.
But Governor Healey, she appointed 2 of the 3 commissioners.
True.
Right. So they have 3 commissioners. She appointed 2 of them. So I get it, they kind of like their own thing, but they're not. If she's appointed, don't you oversee these things?
Yeah.
My opinion.
Okay.
So, and my argument is, again, I don't want to go into like the illegal immigrants and the money that's going to there, whatever. But like, she don't miss a beat when it comes to that.
Yeah.
When she's fighting for that for them, you should have saw this coming, not just a week ago, but 2 years ago. So I feel like I do, where I stand, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have a little bit of a problem with Haley and her leadership and where she allocates her money.
Yeah, it's well, when you appoint people in certain positions, that doesn't mean things just stop right there because you appoint them. There should be some kind of relationship, especially if she appointed them to key positions, especially when it's affecting the whole, the state in general, or on the whole, rather. It's, 2 years is a long time, and that's probably what start of her campaign or her term rather.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's that's a shame because whether you're rich or poor, you don't like those increases at all. So,
I wonder what's the cause of it though.
I think it's got a lot to do with just lobbying for it, and talking about, things that they want to happen. I'll give you this, you give me something else later,
Right, like I said though too, it's programs like Mass Save. They say, hey, we gotta raise up the rates or raise up the delivery charges, whatever, because we're doing these programs. But I don't know. I think that's kind of an excuse.
I agree. I'm right there with you because if you're handing out money and then you're making increases at the same time, I think they're hurting themselves. They're the cause of it, right?
Yeah.
They're the cause of the increases and handing out money. So I think the real fault, a real solution is to reevaluate them and their decisions because all in all, the increases, you're saying the increases are going to stop programs. Maybe the increases shouldn't be there.
So I'm trying to start where the problem is though, is with why they're increasing the rates. Why? Like what is different between last year and this year?
Well, I think like any business out there, I mean, like maybe their health insurance goes up. The stuff that NSTAR, see, I'm showing my age a little bit, right? Eversource, right? Their health insurance goes up. All the stuff that they gotta pay out goes up. Their insurance, so we all take it on the chin, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's typical business. I get it, but these delivery charges, okay? People are getting like $1,200 bills with $800 is the delivery charge.
And when have you seen anything different where Eversource added to the service, right? Maybe a new building, new process,
Right.
New processing plant. Where have you seen that? You haven't seen that anywhere in the state. So why is this delivery rate so high?
It's probably not even a delivery rate. It's just, again, I think that we live in a capitalistic society. They just can do it.
So they found a spot.
Yeah. We'll say it's delivery. It's just you like, for an example, we're going on a lower scale. If you go like DoorDash and Grubhub, you're paying delivery charge, but it's also extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's all these fees and everything
right.
like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So something that's $30 for what you're paying for ends up being $50 at the end of the fees. Including taxes and all this other stuff. So it's again, this is the part of American system that needs to be looked at.
So yeah, I agree. Someone I was speaking to a solar panel company spokesperson, and she made a good point. Like everyone gets their gas and electric bill. They just kind of like get the bill, they see the number, they're like, oh, and they pay it.
Mm-hmm.
How much time do you spend looking at that bill? Because to your point, there's all these fees that you don't see until you're really like fed up. Months and months have gone by, and you find
I'm paying for this. What is this?
Yeah, what's this fee?
you know, what's like a delivery, like what is a delivery for electricity?
Yeah.
Like who? Like,
That's gone up 30%.
And that's a delivery
fee up to 30% for electric, from 30 to 38% for gas.
What are you delivering? What's that consist of, and why is that more expensive now than it was last year?
What's that exactly? What is it
Like? Why is it like
Yeah,
doing the
that's
same
what I
type
mean.
of
pressing a button?
There's no new trucks. Well, no, there's always new trucks, but there's no new plants, no more buildings, to give us the state of the art, service. As far as the delivery, where is it? There's no advertisement. Every company, when they get something new, it's like a new toy. They want to broadcast it.
Right.
When has Eversource broadcasted a new toy that is gonna kind of cost the consumer 30% more?
And no, it's crazy.
30%.
Yeah.
And this is
crazy.
just one example why rent is going up. Things like this is
Right.
where your rent's going up, and it's not right. It's not right, because the trickle down effect of paying for it is the people who have the least amount of money. And that's where I have a problem. This is why I have a problem with people that have money in corporations and things of that nature, because those are the last people that's gonna want to lose any money. Is the one that has the money that probably won't even affect their lifestyle, but you're gonna affect other people's lifestyle. So you don't lose a dollar, and that's just not right. It's getting to a point where it's just crazy, where it needs to be. Like there's a minimum wage, there's to be a maximum wage. There's only so far you can go.
But I mean, 30% to 30% increase. That's a lot of money.
It's definitely a lot of money.
And we do talk about the rent issue, and people complain about that too, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're right, because when homeowners or people that own like multi-families,
Yeah.
their shit goes up, they pass it on to the consumer.
You pass it on to consumer.
I think our state needs to do better for the average.
Well, the state is all about a money grab anyway. I think that the state is not run correctly as far as fiscally. That's why they're always adding these little here and there things. Everything's a money grab. Everything's a money grab, because there's a lot of money going to somebody's pockets. It's gotta be, because we're one of the richest states in this country.
This is a Democratic run state.
Don't make it like that.
By and large.
Don't make it.
Well,
like
it is though, but it is.
Okay, but then at the end of the day, all the Republican states are the poorest and uneducated.
Wow, we're talking about mass right now.
No, but we talk about Democrat, Republican. That's what you made it.
Well,
So if you want to say,
I shouted out a fact.
I
shouted out a fact.
And so did I. I said Republican states are the poorest and uneducated. So do you want to be the poorest state, or you want to be the richest states?
Well, we're poor. Like people can't afford their shit.
No, we are the richest states, and we're being taken advantage of.
There's an argument, maybe, if you want to talk about the top 5% of people are rich. Everyone that I know, people complain about paying their bills and their gas, electric, their rent. So when you say like the richest state, sometimes I don't understand what you mean when you say that, because people are struggling.
The average medium household, we are one of the richest states. Us in California are the top two. Us, California, and New York.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, if you want to take it by like the medium income, I mean, is that because we have so many hospitals, where we have so many doctors, we have so many like
because we are the most educated,
that kind of money,
and this is where the country.
That's fine, but the average citizen that lives amongst us struggle to pay their bills.
Go live in
whatever you want.
Go live in Mississippi. You want to see struggles, and I'm not saying this is not an issue. Like, it's just a fact. I don't like when people make it a Democrat, Republican, because Republican run states are the poorest in this country.
Okay, so I'm just talking about because I think you have a problem when I said Democrat.
I don't like that because it separates the country.
Well, let's have one party.
I'm totally with that.
My point was that you had said that this state is run poorly, and I'm just saying, and I've been saying it's been a Democrat run state.
But you can't do that. It's about people who we elect in office, regardless of Democrat, Republican, regardless. Because we had a Republican governor, before, so it's not Republican, Democrat. That's just separating the country. I'm just getting sick of that talk, because that's just separating each party and things like that, each people. We're putting each other in group. We're all in this together. So maybe we just have the wrong person in office, regardless of Republican or Democrat.
That's right.
Because Republicans, they don't run the country
or states.
That's
Very
listen,
good.
fair enough.
Physically.
Fair enough. Maybe we need to get rid of this.
It's the system.
Maybe we need to get rid of this leader. Fair enough.
Yes.
We need to get rid of this leader.
That's what we got. That's what we got. That's what we agree on. Don't make it a Democrat.
It's not just we gotta understand. It's not a leader. It's leaders.
Leaders. Yes.
So, because you can, as a governor, you can propose a lot of things, but there's other leaders below her in the House, and that could stop a lot of things, you know. So it's leaders, and so that's why, you know, come 2026, we're all be voting for those other level leaders, especially in this state. To you know, I'll be voting differently.
To be honest with you, like I know a lot of people that work for the government, and when they talk about their bosses, and I don't tell them this personally, is that I find that a lot of the leaders don't do their job. They don't work full days. They're not holding other people accountable to make sure things are getting done efficiently. So what are you doing with your high price salary? You know what I'm saying? And it's like you're not really doing anything. Now, I could be wrong. You know, I'm from the outside looking in. I'm just trying to make an observation. But when you're paying for every little thing in this state, and you have a housing crisis in this state, and then you're giving money to people that's not even U.S. citizens, there's money. I believe there's so much money out there, but is a lot of people just keeping it for themselves, however they're doing it. Because even in the financial system, to make money is not about saving, it's about where you put your money to make money. It's like your money around. So if you're doing that as a private citizen to move your money around to make money, what do you think that these government officials are doing too? You know what I'm saying? They're just taking that type of thing, and I'm getting, you know, from this donor or whatever, like that, millions. All right, I'm gonna move this money over here. They're doing that. You know what I'm saying? For it to make more money, you know, because that's how they say to make money as a private citizen, to make money.
They learn the game.
They learn the game. They know how the financial system works, and they use it to their benefit in the political system, which should be against the law because it's not their money. You know, but I don't know. You know, I think that sounds like a conspiracy theorist, but I believe that. You know,
I think you're right.
You know, it's people need to pay attention to that shit. And again, I think we glorify these people in these positions. We glorify too much people that have money, and we're not questioning them because they think that, oh, they're the smartest people in the room. Now they're the most grimiest. You got, you know, because to have a lot of money is not about intelligence. Because if you're a person that moves in a moral basis, you're not going to have a lot of money in your pocket. Like I believe, you know, because you're going to give that money to make sure everybody's good. If you're a multi-millionaire or billionaire, you know, you're going to have a little bit of grimy in you. Politician or no, you know. That's why when I vote on somebody's morals, Republican or Democrat. I vote the person, not like policies. You know, because he may be telling you or she may be telling you what you want to hear to get what they want. But that's just, I digress. But it's
a great topic, Derek.
Yeah, it's a great topic.
Well, I mean, it bothers a lot of people in mass.
So it should.
I don't want to change the subject, but let me just end with this because, you know, you said, I mean, we're called Taxachusetts for a reason.
Yep.
You know, they try to get you for every little thing. You know what pisses me off lately? And when I say lately, I mean, I don't mean like in the last like month or two, but maybe like a few years, but there's so many freaking tolls now. Yeah. Like I go visit my daughter in Worcester, and sure enough, like a week later, I get something in the mail that I owe, you know. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, it's only like $2.30. But when they hit every driver like that, it's millions. Yeah. But yeah, so we pay our taxes. Yeah, that's a tax. You call it whatever you want to call it, a toll, but it's a tax. So we get hit. We get hit on top after the fact, because it's the state, that's what they love to do. So yeah, I think we need to get into more like state shit sometimes. We talk about like Trump a lot, we talk about the country, which is great, but I think I need to bring in more like some state issues, and even in our city.
No, I agree. I totally 100% agree with that. Yeah, so it's we need to like really focus on how the state's spending all this money, because you got tolls everywhere now. They don't even got toll booths. You know what I'm saying? So you don't even know where these tolls are.
Yeah.
You know, they just
It's
go
like,
ahead and
click,
just
click,
charge
click,
you.
click, click, yeah, you know, it's like,
I'm charging you what? To go
Yeah.
across the street?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
They charge you to go through a toll, and then they charge you through excise tax. It's nonstop. It just,
Yeah.
when does it? When we just need like excise tax. All right, that should be for the road and
For the roads, yeah. We got
everything,
property tax. That's for,
Yeah.
you know, the homes.
And here it is. We're just traveling the highway we can go in another direction, right? Go 95 south and go to another state and give our money up.
Yeah.
You know, but we're traveling. You know, like you said, Josh, from here to Worcester, that's a lot of miles. You know, you
Yeah.
can go either direction. You might be in another state doing
Yeah.
something else. you
Yeah,
know?
so right, that's a great point. I go visit my daughter in Worcester. I spend money at a restaurant, which they get taxes on, right? I
Yep.
pay gas to get there, but you got the tolls too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's a lot.
And that's what again, I spoke on this last time about traveling. And you had these conversations with locals. Years ago, I traveled to Brazil, right? And we're on the beach, and I'm talking to this gentleman, and he says, y'all from America, right? I said, yeah, I'm America. She goes, you think y'all free? I'm like, yeah, I'm free. Home of the brave, land of the free. He was like, you ain't free.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not free? Because what are you doing? Because I'm on the beach.
Okay.
She's like, what you got in your hand? And I had an open can of beer. I says, where's the police? And he was literally like 10 yards away. And we're drinking. He's not doing anything. She goes, can you do that in America?
No.
I'm like, no, because you ain't free.
Yeah. Yep.
So and when it comes with all these tolls and these taxes, we're paying for the freedom and the way we're able to live. But we're not able to live because they keep on taking our money to even live. It's a crazy system. It's a crazy capitalistic system.
Yeah, can I just piggyback on the excise tax thing before we change the subject? That drives me crazy. I have no idea what an excise tax is, right? So, and it just hit me hard. Like I bought a brand new car a couple of years ago, and when I got my excise tax, well, I don't understand. Like, I'm paying tax when I buy the car, right?
Yeah.
I'm purchasing a car. I'm paying big taxes on what I'm purchasing. Okay, fine. But then I get an excise tax in the mail, and it jumped up dramatically because it was a brand new car. Like, for why?
Yeah.
Like, why the gouge? And it goes down after that. But why? Because it's brand new, it's so high. Like, if anything, a new vehicle is not gonna harm the roads as bad. Like the emissions coming out of the tailpipe.
It should be the opposite.
It should be the opposite. You think about
But
it.
it shouldn't even exist. Number one,
Yeah,
why you
right.
having an excise tax when I paid tax when I paid the vehicle?
That's why. So when you look at your tax bracket, when you do your taxes, whatever it is, 25, 26%, whatever your tax rate, it's like 50%. When you figure out all the money that you spend, say,
Yeah.
after you do your tax or after you get your check at the end of the week, that's been taxed.
Mm-hmm.
Now your money that you spend at the stores, and you're gonna pay your excise tax, you pay your tolls. Those are all taxes. You're at like 50% of your income.
Mhm.
Call what you call. You can say 20% if you want, 25%. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
You're about 50%.
Yeah. If you have someone audit,
Yeah,
every cent of your money, you'll get a rude awakening.
You won't want to know, and that's why they don't want you to know.
No.
They don't like case in point. Like we haven't for years now. We haven't had crazy winters,
True.
so we're not paying plows. So that's money you put aside that you're not using. Where's that money?
Just sitting there.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you save it for the next year to overflow, and things should be cheaper, especially how this winter. We haven't had winters like we used to when we were younger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's obviously you're not spending this money, but it's funny y'all wasting money because I remember that I'm watching a salt truck putting salt down. It was only 30 degrees.
Yeah.
But they had go and I asked the question. Goes, yeah, they have to put it down or they don't get those grants. That's bad.
It's waste.
Y'all wasting money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then you want to tax me on extra stuff and y'all wasting money.
Yeah.
Does that make any
If
sense?
you store the salt in a certain area, it's never going to go bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you store it properly, it's not going to go bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it can withstand, you know, the test of time, whether it be another year or two, and really, and not be a problem. You know, it's still going to solve its problem, or solve its solution, or be part of the solution when it comes to icy roads. I don't know. It was one of the things that I was hoping that I was in politics to see what was going on, and
Yeah.
kind of open a notebook and or open a computer and see what's going on and where all the spending's going. You know, you always had somebody in all over the city cutting the grass or maintaining property or doing all kinds of different things for the infrastructure. And now you don't see that.
You don't see that. You don't
Unless
see DPW anywhere. You don't see it. What are they doing?
Repairing potholes though with some little patch here and there, but it's just amazing where all the staff.
I remember even in the summertime they used to hire for summer jobs. Kids in summer jobs work for DPW. That's when I did that a couple of times in locations. You know, it's
job.
Yeah.
It gives you you know. I don't know how much money you were getting paid back then, but it was
104.
It was a lot of money. Right?
So yeah. But even though we used to like act like we was on strike, it was like 104. We want more. You know, but we're kids from the hood getting $104 is good money back then, yo. For for a little 14-year-old,
right?
Yeah. All right. Let's get on to the next topic. What was the next topic? Hold on, right now.
Talk about hockey.
Let me see. I want to stay on a little bit on some policy stuff. Let me see.
Oh, like the
Run the United States.
Yeah. So I want to ask this question. Where is it? I had it up there.
Our viewers could comment too and type in.
Yeah.
Fill up to it.
This is a good question. Can you run a country like a corporation? And I want to ask this question because obviously what Doge is doing with Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and how they're saying that they're cutting spending by cutting these jobs right off the bat. It sounds like when somebody just bought a new company and they're gutting it out to save spending and to make a profit. Can you run a country like a corporation? What do you think, guys?
One of the things I mentioned here, some of my notes, says a corporate structure could increase accountability with clear lines of authority and responsibility. Which makes sense, you know, and you know, when you run it like that, like a corporation, you know, there's going to be one person in charge, one person assigned to A, B, C, and D, and the person up top can say, hey, C was supposed to do this. You're not doing the job. You're gonna go. I get that. Totally understand that. But then again, it becomes a little salted when some people are being moved based on, you know, cronyism or nepotism and stuff like that, which happens when you're running things like a corporation.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I think it can, like, with the right person. Like you say, with politics, with like the state mass issues, I think it can be run with you know, because you just said about Massachusetts, like where's the money going? Where's all our money going? You'd like to know, like, you know. So I think that's what Doge is set up to do. Accountability, right? I mean, in any asset of government, where's our money going? How are we spending it? Is it wasteful? Are we giving these grants to foolishness? Are we sending money overseas that we shouldn't be doing when we have issues in our own country? So, like, to me, I'd like to give this more time before we criticize it and see exactly how beneficial it's going to be.
When does someone like Derek Demers, when does your alarms finally go off? When you say it's not working, when will that be for you personally? Just a question. I'm not.
I mean, I'd like to give like 6 months.
All right.
Right. 6 months and see what's going on. And you know, because I know what you're saying about this. Let me just say this. I think it's very difficult when we look at social media or the media in general, because sometimes I feel like, what should we believe? Is that meme correct? Is that meme correct from on the other side, right? We're looking at stuff and be like, oh man, look at that. Like, oh, but look at this. Like, what's actually true and what's not true. And I think that, us as like, the peons in society, we got to look at those things and try to make an informed decision on sometimes bullshit that they give us.
Yeah.
Fair enough, right? I mean,
yeah, and we did that. Like some where our human nature is to deal with some bullshit more than other bullshit, right?
Right.
And so we'll tolerate it, then finally say, all right, that's enough. In some cases, some people losing their jobs, and so they're right off the bat, they're this, I can't tolerate, I can't deal with this. But I get what you're saying, and I only ask this question only because, just for someone that's pro for this administration, I just want to hear from you. When is your warning? When are your alarms going to be set? And that's only for me personally, just to know, but I think at some point, some parts of, corporation structures could be applied to the government. I mean, we're asking for it right now. We were just asking about it and started this show. Want to make the governor accountable.
Yeah.
For all this and making Eversource accountable. And that could happen right through the governor. So I get it.
But my opinion is I'm on the other end. I don't think you can run another corporation.
Yeah.
Meaning because
not parts of it though.
Parts of it, but that's a general. Like
Yeah.
you can run a school and hold people accountable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You can run, but when you're running a corporation, what is the main thing about a corporation? Making a profit.
Yep. Get it.
We as a country, we pay taxes, pay people, and pay taxes to provide us a service. So when you're going into it and you're looking at it to a point where to make money, you're not paying the country to make money. You're paying country to provide a service. If it's protection, if it's the military, if it's assistance, if it's these different programs, it's like, so yes, do you gotta have to run it and hold people accountable? But that's any type of workplace. But when you want to run it like a corporation, they're going in with a corporation mindset and says, all right, just like what he did with Twitter, everybody's fine. You can't do that. Now you did that to everybody, but now you got no air traffic controllers. You did that to everybody. You got people handling the nuclear weapons. You're going into with a corporation mindset, but you're not handling the corporation. There's a lot of things that goes into running a country that's very important. So you got to go through a fine comb of detail. Is some people not doing their jobs or not? Yes. But that's what makes government so difficult. That's why you have these different expected generals and things of that nature. So you need people to hold them accountable. So is it the people that's in these high-end jobs not holding these people accountable where we're doing these wasteful spending? But at the end of the day, who does the most wasteful spending? The military. And but yet you're not touching the military, but you're getting those big military contracts. So are you worried about this money? And now you're being called out on it, and now you want to say, I'm going to give you $5,000. You're buying, like they don't like they really are feeding off our ignorance. They really are. Is our ignorance and our love for money. Here's $5,000. Shut the fuck up.
Well, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, how many times you have, collective bargaining with companies and employees, and all of a sudden all right, we're going to give you, restitution. We're going to give you a bonus in the beginning. It happens. And when you talk about this $5,000, that's just something they just thrown out there. I mean, they're more comfortable with running things as a corporation because that's all they lived. From the president to Elon Musk to everyone else that's involved, their livelihood has been corporations and how things are run. So they're gonna go to their go-to, which is corporations. but also they have to understand the game, understand this government is not run that way. And they have two titles now. They have they're part of a corporation, and they are also a government official. So, and that's when we have checks and balances, and hopefully the checks and balances, um, not going to always sway in our direction or our but it needs to be done. Checks and balances need to be in place. So,
and I agree. Like Nate Victor said, do you apply the same ethics in running a country as you do running a business? The same ethics, yes, but the same goal. Like corporations are built to make money.
Yeah, but can I interrupt you right there? Because that's like the third time you said that.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand what you're saying. Corporations want to make, millions of dollars, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the government should want to break even at least. Like we have such a deficit because either we're spending more money than we're bringing in with our taxes. So if we bring in X amount with taxes, maybe we got to cut some stuff so that we're not having a deficit every year. So maybe that's if we cut some stuff out.
But the way they're doing it,
I mean, listen, I'm not a fan with everything that they're doing. I'm a fan of trying to cut back on.
Yeah, but what they're doing,
ridiculous amount of spending.
Yes, but they're doing it like they're running a corporation. That's when you come in, you buy a corporation, and then you just do mass firing, and then you're not even understanding what people's jobs are.
You know what? I think sometimes the head of an organization don't understand what people's jobs are.
Well, then he should before he makes any decision.
I'm not saying like Trump or the president. I'm not saying that the president. I'm saying whoever's running, he or she.
Right.
There's so much. How many people get like jobs? Like take care of their friends. I'll get you. You know what I'm saying?
Nepotism,
making cushy jobs.
They have it in the court system. Go to district court.
So, right.
Everybody's friends.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Trust me, everybody's friends. There's a big nepotism. People get positions in New Bedford District Court for freaking because you know somebody, not because you're the most qualified or you're the most experienced. It happens a lot.
But sometimes they could.
But that's what messes up the system, and that's why society becomes the way it is. But because you have the wrong people in it, because there's a lot of nepotism here. Case in point, and I'll let you finish. He goes, Trump just fired a black 4-star general to hire a 3-star general. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. So okay, this is actually what I was referring to when I said this to Charlie. When I see that. Like, I want to know, like, how true is this? Like, what happened? What was his position on things? Why did he get fired? Because listen, I get it. He fired a black person, hired a white person, whether it's 4-star or 3-star. But, the argument is going to be, because I see on social media, he fired a black person, hired a white one. Yeah. He's trying to make the country white. These are the things I see on social media. Now, for me, as a citizen, I want to step back and look at it. First off, is that true? And why did he fire that person? What was his position and what was he doing that either Trump didn't like or agree with, or how it was being done, whatever. But I want to know the truth before I make decisions and be like, oh my God.
Do you feel
everything?
Do you feel like Trump is putting a lot of people in position where they're just going to agree with him?
Well, I think he probably got a lot of people that have his views on it, right? Like
that's not good. That's not democracy. Like he called out Maine, where he put this executive order and in the state said, are you gonna abide by it? And they were challenging it. And he goes, oh, you're not getting no federal program now. That is not democracy. That's not how you handle stuff. You're not all world, all king. And he did it in front of the press.
I mean,
exactly. So the whole point is like, he's a threat to democracy.
No, democracy.
This is the way he's handling things.
Democracy is people voting. People voted him in. He's actually doing what he said he was going to do. People voted for that. That's democracy.
So you're saying that people voted with these poor Republican, because I'm going to do the same thing you do, Republican states, now they're losing funding in their schools. And these other states don't pay state taxes, and they depend on, and they actually depend on our tax dollars that we pay in these rich states like Massachusetts to fund their programs. Now they don't have it because he's just cutting everything.
Well, I think the thing is, if you want, because you brought up Maine, okay? Mm-hmm. You brought up Maine, and I think it was, and people voted for this. Mm-hmm. Most people don't want men in women's sports. That was the argument with the person from Maine saying, you know,
why are we talking about that in the first freaking month of this freaking administration? Like, that's our problem? Like, really think about it. That's our problem. Like, why are we even worried about? No, we have the problem. You got people that's literally we have a housing crisis. You know, we like healthcare. Why are we? It's he's entertaining you. He's going into your feelings. A transgender running track is not affecting putting food on your table. But that's what you're worried about. It's ridiculous.
I'm just saying, this is what happened the other day. You brought it up. This is what happened, and this is why he went after her.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yes, there's a million problems in our country.
Yeah, and as a region, New England region, you know, the numbers were voting for a Democrat president, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to take much for him to say no to the littlest things or to the biggest things, because this region didn't want him, you know. So so I think when we're talking about transgender and all that, it's just something that, you know what? No, you're not getting it. It could have been about anything else,
right?
And he would have came off the same way, and she would have raised the glass the same way. It just would have stayed the same. It just so happens that it's was talking about transgender.
And that's the thing. Like, how even when he talks about abortion, he wants to leave it to the states. So do the same thing with transgender. Oh, but no, we don't want to do that, because that people care so much about that. He's gonna hold that to the thing. When it comes to abortion, it's very mixed. He's gonna lose. So I'll just leave it to the states. No, he's playing the word game. He's playing the game. And he knows what he can control. We can control, and he gets into your feelings. We have a healthcare problem. We have an education problem. We have a cost of living problem. These are the things that you should be focused on right from the jump. But he's not. He's still focusing on your feelings and what your feelings are. Mass deportation, transgender. That stuff is not affecting putting food on your table. That's how I live.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're not important topics, but healthcare is a very important topic. Education is a very important topic. Housing is a very important topic. He has not even touched that yet. That's the most important thing.
So, I mean, I agree. I don't think transgender is like the top 5 or 10 issues in our. I mean, I get it. I'm saying that this came up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but you know, as far as that going to the states, I think most of the people in Maine don't want that. I don't know any state that wants that, to be honest.
Transgender?
Yeah.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think people mind transgender. They don't want to see a man playing a woman's.
But like I feel like, does that affect your life? Does transgender affect your life?
No.
What's affecting your life?
Nothing.
Nothing affecting your life.
Well, my NSTAR bills.
Cost of living.
Yeah, cost of living.
Cost of living. All you're paying all this that, and then you're making all these cuts to make money. So whatever money you save, you want to give us $5,000?
No, I don't want the money.
I don't want the money either.
I don't want the money.
But you see what he's doing? You're saying, I'm cutting all the spending to give you guys $5,000.
Mm-hmm. So are you saying that you're not in favor of him trying to cut and save the billions of dollars?
I don't like how he's doing it, because you got to realize probably most of this country workforce is through the government.
Yes, because we have too many.
So now you're taking people. That means you're cutting all these people. That means less people in taxes, less people have money and contribute to the economy. It's gonna cause a recession. It's gonna cause more inflation, because people are not gonna have money.
They'll get another job.
And get another job. How? When you go out there and you want to go get a good paying job when cost of living is already high, when you got AI taking over jobs.
Listen, I agree with that. I think this is a different argument, but you know, let me just say this, and I don't want to go back 4 years and I don't want to rehash everything, but like on day one of the Biden administration, he fired 10,000 workers that for the oil, Charlie, right? Was it the drillers or whatever? He fired 10,000 on day one and said, go learn to code.
They get
no issue with that.
There's a lot of factual stuff out there that every president is
terminated people.
terminated people. They even have right now. I think it was Obama terminating almost the most military personnel, um, and so I think that that's always going to be something that's been done across the board. However, I just hope we don't go to war now. I just things are just going crazy, and it looks like it's not settling down. So, but there is some truth to what you're saying.
Well,
There's a lot of truth to what you're saying, Derek.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. I think what we need to do, honestly, because I know Berto doesn't want division, right?
No, I don't want
No,
division.
I know you don't. But my point is, I think that we need to step back, give it more time, because there's so much division in everything he does. He does one thing. There's 100 memes about it's wrong, it's racist, it's this, it's that. Why don't we just see what it does?
Yeah, and the memes are only the way that you can actually get. It's the only way you can express yourself.
Right.
So
You get on Facebook and you put a meme out there.
Yeah, it's the only way that it's gonna. You can't do it any other way. You can't right now because no one's listening to you.
I want to play a clip. This is and I love this woman. She's an up and coming star. Her name's Jasmine Crockett, and if you don't know her, please Google her. And she's talking about she's a congresswoman, and she's talking about spending in the budget, and this is what she has to say.
I saw Bernie Sanders post yesterday about he likes what Trump is attempting to do with the Pentagon by auditing them and stuff like that.
Attempting. Let's see it happen. Here's the reality. I serve on the oversight committee. That's where all the drama typically happens, and we've had Department of Defense come before us a number of times. The vast majority of the waste, fraud, and abuse that we have in this country is Department of Defense. You can Google and find out that at some point in time we were spending like $1,000 per toilet or something. So that's where we see these inflated costs. That's where we have a lot of contractors. That's where they play a lot of games. That's where Elon gets the vast majority of his money is out of defense. And when they come before us and we ask them about their audit, they haven't had a clean audit in the last 6 times we've asked for an audit. So the fact that they're going to start with people that are getting $6 a day to eat, or they want to go after the little old lady that's just trying to get her little health care and they believe that that's what the savings is, that's not what the savings is, nor is it going after career civil servants and saying, oh, let me take your coins, let me take your job. Because when we add up, even if we fired everybody that works for the federal government, it's only maybe 4 or 5% of our budget, but approximately 50% of our discretionary budget is defense, and they can't pass an audit. So why we didn't start there, where Elon has decided that he's going to get 2 new contracts just in 2 weeks, one for $400 million to Tesla, another for a little over $300 million to SpaceX. I don't know why we didn't start there, but it seems like we can find a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse because, again, they've not been able to pass an audit.
I saw
What do you think about that, Tate?
I mean, I get the military spending, and I'm not a politician. I don't know exactly where that money goes. However, I don't think we need all that money, but we're also protecting the whole goddamn world. So it's like, do they need that money? I don't know. I know that the defense spending keeps going up, but we keep defending every person.
And that's what I mean. It's like I think you got to go through every aspect of government with a fine-tooth comb and make the cut that needs to be. But he's not going after the military, and he's cutting all this spending. I don't even know why this guy got power to do this, but anyway, he's cutting all this spending, but then at the same time he's cutting this spending, he's making money off of this country. That is like that don't seem shady.
How's he making money off the country? What do you mean?
He just got a contract. He got a $400 billion contract with Tesla. Did you hear just say that? And he got two different defense spending and another $350 billion contract for SpaceX.
But so this is what I'm saying about the truth that's out there, because Biden awarded what's this guy's name? I can't even think of his name.
Oh, Corso, something like that.
No, Trump. Everyone says Trump's the president there with Trump. Elon Musk.
Yeah. Right.
Biden awarded Elon Musk project with Tesla for like 400 billion or million, whatever it was. That was him that Biden did it, not Trump. He just in November it passed, and it starts in that award that he got for 400 million starts in April of this year.
But is that a conflict?
It started with Biden.
And I know I understand what you're saying, and with Biden, it's the difference is that Elon Musk's position now as of this date.
Yeah.
So it makes it questionable. As far as Biden giving Elon that was something the country really wanted. They were talking green, and so that's something that was, he got it. He's doing a great job, and yeah, he should get it. However, his position now with Doge, I think it changes a lot of things now, and that's why she's bringing up these points. And it's all the points that Crockett brings up is stuff that they're talking about, like waste and all that. So, but I think the only difference now is and I could say that, Elon Musk and Tesla, that was something that or everything that he's doing, that's something the country wanted, and so he did get money and apply, good job. However, the difference right now is his position with ethics. I mean, as it is, I mean, truthfully, over the years as a police officer, I wasn't supposed to get a free coffee, free donut, free bottle of alcohol at New Year's Eve, or Christmas or Thanksgiving or hey, thank you, those are all ethics violations.
Yeah.
I think it should apply to someone at one of the highest positions in the government.
Mm-hmm. So I want to end this segment where this particular fighter was talking about Elon Musk and he made a good point. Hold on one second. He made a good point.
You've been critical of Elon Musk. How do you feel about his involvement with the Doge?
Well, I think that time will prove me correct. Time will always reveal someone's true character, and if you put that man in a position of power, his true character will be revealed. And let's just put it this way: he has all the money in this country. He's the wealthiest man in the country, and he wasted on rockets, man. Think about it, dude. He could actually help people with that money, but he don't give a shit about you. He's got all the money in the world to help you. It'd be a penny to him, and you would never have to work again. He don't give a shit about you, though. He wants to waste it on rockets and waste it on all these cars that suck. And time will reveal the character of that man. And the more he gets under the spotlight, you can't fake it forever. His character will be revealed. If you mark my words, it will be seen that he is a rat bastard. And if I had all that money, I would like to think I would help people more than he does.
He makes a point. He makes a point.
You know what? I want rockets because we have satellites up there that are very important to a lot of things we're doing. So we need to get there or up there as fast as we could. And if that's going to help us, then I'm for it. That's one thing that I really truly believe.
That's out of his own pocket too, right?
It was a business spot. Yeah,
he goes up to space and he wants to do.
Not anymore when he's getting money now
for our country. That was all out of his pocket.
No, he wanted to do that because that's going to be money. He wants to have that.
But isn't he like experiment and exploring by spending all this money to try to go to the moon or wherever he's doing with his vehicle?
Well, now he's doing it with our money with these government contracts.
I know what I'm saying. It's like we're listening to this clip saying that he should be giving money back. Well, isn't that giving money back if he's spending money that's going to advance our, life?
Yeah, and I think personally, it's his money, so we can't really be telling him how to do it.
No.
And how much money does he get? Honestly, because maybe we don't know this, but we don't know every cent that Michael Jordan donates, right? Some people don't need to do selfies and when they donate money. Is he giving money that we don't know about? He's got $1 bazillion. Is he doing stuff that he doesn't publicize?
And that's fair to ask, but he's not into politics. He's not trying to dictate your life.
Yeah, I just
don't want to dictate your life.
What with him is a lot of things I can. They're in place because they're needed. But the real problem I have with Elon Musk is the position he holds in government and the ethics. That really bothers me.
And I will say on the show, If I see like the being an ethic, I will say it. I will call it out because I'm with there too. I'm kind of seeing it that he's there and he has these government programs or what have you.
Yeah.
If he can kind of keep the two separated, all right. But if I see, I'll say it.
Yeah, I think it's important that not just for you to say it. I think we all need to say it.
Right.
Because it's real important. You know what? You talked about an Eversource bill. Well, maybe some of that money he's getting could go to you or everybody else.
Right.
That's what I'm
Kind of
saying.
contribute, help us out. It's crazy. But no, good discussion. I like this.
All right, we're gonna move on. Let me see what we're gonna move on to. Let's see. We might have to get into the where did I put the caption?
The suicide rate.
Yeah, I just had it.
Go up.
DemersDating.com.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, here's a good question. Does society? This is going to be a long discussion. Does society care about men? If people don't understand the suicide rate comparison from women to men per 100,000 people per 100,000 is 5.9 in women. In men per 100,000 is 22.3. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you think about it. It's a great discussion for men. When we're talking about caring for men, I think us as men have to we have to discuss it in as a whole first and understanding what we're going through. I don't think to get the caring and nurturing, or not that we need nurturing, just to get the caring from others, it has to start with the men giving enough care and empathy for each other before we allow anybody else to come into the table. I think, or the discussion. I think that we really have to discuss what really bothers us first and kind of build those solutions, and then kind of get some other opinions from outside, as far as women and maybe even children, or to discuss and say, hey, my uncle's going through this, or my dad's going through that, then you get those discussions. But I think first and foremost, us as men have to really start talking about it. And that's when they have men's groups and that need to be established in every community, in every family, really. I think men and families should talk. How many men in each of our families may not even talk to each other?
Yeah, how many men like hug each other or like ask what's going on?
Yeah.
Do you think it's improved though? Because I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like in our society, like haven't we come a little ways with that? Like having like men a little more communicative with people and
I don't think so.
No.
I think that showing vulnerability as a man doesn't do you any service. Other than it's. I had a conversation with a woman.
Well, it has to be selective who you talk to, right? Like you can talk to us about that, and we probably absorb everything you're saying.
Yes,
right?
Yes, but it's very far in between. If you think of men have a lot of people like that they can confine in, or they're comfortable to confine in, it's very rare. Like how can I say? I asked a friend of mine, and who's a female. And I says, if your man cried in front of you, would you look at him differently? And the correct thing, she wanted to say the correct thing. No, I wouldn't. I said, no, let's be honest with each other. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
If your man came home and he started crying for all the troubles he's going through in life, he's crying, would you look at him differently or feel about? She's like, something, bro, to be honest with you, I would.
Yeah.
I would. And so I want to play this clip. There's a lot of clips I'm going to play that people speak on this topic. Listen to what this person says.
I did not interview men for the first 4 years of my study. And it wasn't until a man looked at me one day after a book signing and said, I love what you have to say about shame. I'm curious why you didn't mention men. And I said, I don't study men. And he said, that's convenient. And I said, why? And he said, because you say to reach out, tell our story, be vulnerable. But you see those books you just signed for my wife and my 3 daughters? I said, yeah. They'd rather me die on top of my white horse than watch me fall down. When we reach out and be vulnerable, we get the shit beat out of us. And don't tell me it's from the guys and the coaches and the dads. Because the women in my life are harder on me than anyone else. So I started interviewing men.
So what do you think about that what she said?
And what I learned.
Well, that guy is actually speaking some truth, right? And I like what he said. It's convenient. So if you're studying things, why don't you study everything?
Mm-hmm.
Men, women, why don't you study it all? So so her book that she wrote is kind of selective, and in being selective, it also narrows down your audience, which would be women. Women will probably buy that book because she's talking about them, right? Not too many men are writing. What's that TV show? Channel Lifestream or whatever.
Lifetime.
Lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see too many men watching that, unless like me, my wife's in charge of the remote, then I gotta watch it.
Here's another clip. Like I'm playing these clips because I want people to get this perspective. Like these are conversations that men have with other men. Here's another one. 1 second.
Is that men are taught to understand women, raised from childhood, but women don't understand men.
Ooh, expound on that, OG.
Well, when we have problems, I think most women don't care. I think that when we express ourselves, women, some get it, some don't. Some women are petty and argument. Guys are buying flowers for women, for a female. You don't even know why she mad. She mad. Then he go about these flowers, so he's trying to cater to her emotions to make her better. And I don't even know why she mad. And these things are very complicated to me.
What do you think about that?
You got Lenny Williams playing in the
background.
background.
Girl, you know
That'll get a woman to listen to you, right?
Like what hit me in that statement is like he's saying women don't even care.
Yeah.
I think the only woman that probably cares about what I'm going through is my mother.
I'm going to disagree just a little bit. And I do agree. A viewer, Sam, says difficult topic, tons of layers in play. I agree, tons of layers, right?
Yeah.
Because I do feel like people care. I feel like your mom cares, of course, but I know you have like women friends that are going to care about you, that care about you. They don't want to see you hurting. They don't want. So I think, people, we have people that care about us.
But the ones that you want to, how can I say? If you're in an intimate relationship with somebody, you can't show that side of you.
I agree with it. It's very difficult to try to, because you want to be like the man.
It's not want to be. I'm not going to be.
Right.
Where if a woman shows her vulnerability, what is we as protectors, we don't look at you. Now we want to help you. We don't, now we feel like we need to do more so you don't feel that way. It's like, I don't think that, I wanted to say women, I think society in general, it's almost like, for an example, when you go on a society, there's a bunch of programs that will protect women. There's no bunch of programs to protect men. Pain's different coming from a man. And I probably, me speaking on this, there's probably somebody in the audience saying, he sounds weak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't understand. Like I had a conversation, I kid you not, this happened to me a couple of days ago. I'm getting ready for work. A real close friend of mine texted me and started venting about how, at the end of the day, he was saying, basically, I don't feel appreciated.
Yeah.
This is a good person, good man, all about his family, takes care of him. I'm telling you, like I inspired to be this type of man, in a family, and he feels I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel appreciated as a man. I do most of the things. I try to make life easier for my family. I'm not feeling appreciated. And he was venting to me early in the morning. I know he was in his feelings, and he just like, yo, he's sending me clips because he's resonating. And it's like, this is what I'm talking about. And it's like, people don't get it.
And
you know what I'm saying?
That goes back to what I was talking about. That it's as much as he wanted to kind of express what's going on at home or within the family, he can't really.
He can't.
And so.
And that's why it's
goes in
22.3 per 100,000.
Yeah. And so he goes in the direction of a man. And you gotta remember, in a relationship, when you're getting to that level where it's at 10 and you gotta express some kind of emotion, you gotta actually look and think about where your relationship is at that point. Is it a year relationship? Is it a 2-year relationship? Is it just a couple of months relationship? Well, that's when you don't bring out those emotions. You can't really, even for a year, and you can't bring out those relationships if you're not living together. It's real important.
You're absolutely right. But then when you have women complaining about you're not opening up to me, I don't know what you want, and this and that.
Right.
It's a protective, like they're not understanding the protective mechanism of a man. You know what I'm saying? But they want us to open up. But then when it hurts, we can't react, because if we act, then we're accountable, not like they're accountable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's all about y'all that you get called, oh, poor baby. Nah, you know what I'm saying? It's so now we're being protective of our mental, our heart. So yeah, I'm gonna be very cold. I can't allow you to have that power over me where you can hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have nobody to confine it. So now you're suppressing it, and that's why there's a difference between 5.9 and 22.3. What do you?
I mean, I more or less agree with you, but I also feel like maybe like the man makeup, like maybe we just don't show much emotion or cry over things that, like, say, women do. But a woman could have a bad day at work or an argument with her mom or something and cry about it.
That's where you're wrong. I remember another thing. A friend of mine, I'm talking to my friend. I didn't know what he was going through with his family, and he just got to a point he broke down and cried.
But to you?
To me. But he was going through this for a very long time, and y'all were very close, but I didn't even know this was going on.
But did he open up and cry to his wife or his significant other?
No, probably not.
That's what I'm saying, though. So I'm saying is that, a man could cry to another man or break down to your boy or something, right? See, so I think that when we're talking about the difference between man and woman, just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think a man would break down to you, right? Like, I'll use me as an example. I might break down to you, or hey, the struggle that I'm having, and before I did it to my significant other, so I don't come across as like weak to her.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's that before going home kind of conversation,
right? Because you don't
want to get somebody to fill it out.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And you could be pro of whatever is going on, and then all of a sudden your good friend Berto says, "No, I don't think that's right, bro." And now you kind of reevaluate what you're doing, right? And you go home and you say,
"Right,
all right,
or you don't want to appear like weak to your lady or your spouse. You know what I'm saying?
There's always, this.
But that's the thing. What? Why be in a relationship with someone you're worried about appearing weak?
I think in time it gets better.
Like there's another clip that talks about
how do you deal with a man that is more sensitive than you?
It gets strange for me in conversations like these when we talk about one party being more sensitive or more soft. And a lot of times that kind of boxes men in, and it's alarming, because if a man can't be sensitive and soft in his relationship, then where can he be? Like I don't know too many men that don't want to take their guard down with their old lady. Like I don't want to have to come home and protect myself from you. Like do you know what I gotta go through out in the world, and then to have to come home and guard and tiptoe with you because I can't be vulnerable? Like even when we use the word soft, bro, a man being hard all the time will destroy him. Get you a man that gotta be hard all the time and see how he handle it. Brother, a man has to find softness in himself to properly handle those parts of you. Empathy is like a huge quality that's necessary for a healthy partnership. And in order to empathize, one almost has to see oneself. And if a man can't see himself in your emotions, if he can't see himself in your softness, then again, what do you think he's going to do? So when you talk about not wanting a man that's more sensitive than you, that's you falling into training that cuts pieces of a man off. And then you complain about those pieces being missing when he show up at your doorstep.
Who's that dude? Is that your buddy there that you like?
No, this is he's part of a group where they talk about relationships. There's a bunch of male and female.
He had some good points. I mean,
yeah, sometimes what happens is, a woman may frown about her man being soft, right? And then all of a sudden, because he's soft, something goes wrong in the relationship. Maybe they split up. Then all of a sudden, later, there's something rekindles, maybe just a friendship, right? And now that man becomes hard. Mm-hmm. Why are you so hard? Why are you so hard? Because when I was soft for you, you didn't like it. So
there's another clip like that. Hold on one second.
But I also feel, Charlie, some men are emotional.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it depends. I feel like it depends on the person too. Sometimes.
Yeah, there was a lot. There's different parts of my life where I was really emotional, and you may want to say I was soft, or in some of my relationships, and I get that. Even my wife will kind of say, "Hey, I want the flashback, Charlie. Go back a little ways, and just give me those reminders." So, but. Yeah, I get it.
This is another clip that's very interesting.
Never hit a man where he's weak. Never. It could be true, it could be real, but you don't hit him where he's weak because it'll turn around on you. But you never hit a man where he's weak because they never forget it. It'll links with them.
When a man opens up, when he really opens up, don't you use what he said when he was open to prove a point when you want to win an argument. You will never hear the full story from us ever again.
That's right.
I ain't good, but I just ain't telling you.
Open up to a woman?
Yeah.
Never. No, never.
When's the last time you think you opened up to a woman?
You don't. Because once you do, whenever something go down, they're going to throw it back in your face.
That's
what. Yeah.
Most men will only experience unconditional love from their mothers. And some of us don't even get that. Most of us have never even felt appreciation or respect without conditions or hidden intentions.
This is a man's story. Like, y'all, like, just that alone, like, I've been through all that. I pillow talked and I've talked to people to touch a relationship and was thrown in my face. And I told you something in confidence. For you to win an argument, for you to justify your actions, you do it. I was like, oh my God. You think that I'm gonna be cool with the next person, and I'm gonna tell you these intimate things now that I know will hurt me?
Yeah.
No, I'm not giving you that ammunition.
That was Shaq on there too.
That was Shaq on there too. So like but this is how a man perceived that. Like just like what TK said about women just don't care, or they're not taught to really understand us. They think, and it's it affects us because we're suppressing it. Here's another clip that was. What do you think with this, Charlie?
In disrespect to a man is to allow somebody else's voice to have more power than his voice.
Yeah.
That's cheating to a man. If somebody else's voice carries more weight than another man's voice, To him, you just got into bed with another man.
Yeah.
He really feels like that, right? Why is that? Because it's our assignment to be leaders, have influence, and visionaries. So at that point, when somebody else's voice carries more weight than our voice, we feel second, third, fourth. It's a blow to the ego. It's a blow to mankind, period. And he's saying, she don't love me. We equate love with respect. We equate love with honor. So if you dishonor my voice and you elevate somebody else's voice, this means you don't love me. The preacher's voice is not stronger than your husband's voice. Yeah. Your daddy's voice is not stronger than your husband's voice. Yeah. Your therapist's voice is not stronger than your husband's voice. If you want a war, if you want to fight, if you want something that can get infected that will never produce fruit, allow somebody else's voice to be stronger than his voice.
And that kind of Erykah Badu song is called Tyrone, you know? It's like call someone else. And that's the first thing, you know, where someone's opinion comes up in my conversation or our family conversation. I may do the same thing, and I may say, you know, hey, call your ace, you know. Mm-hmm. Apparently I wasn't your ace last week, you know, call your ace. You know, I got no answers for you right now. Mm-hmm. And that's just being stubborn sometimes, but it's still exactly what he says. That's how we feel. Mm-hmm. You know, guess what? I told you something different, and I think that was best for us. And then all of a sudden you decided to
listen to somebody else.
Listen to someone else and make a decision that affected us and not the pretty outside of us.
Yes.
You know? So I get it.
Yeah. So it's like, but these are the things how men look at things. We look at things in a totally different perspective than women do. And but we are not allowed to be vulnerable and express that. Can I tell you that? Like, yo, you listening to your pastor, your dad, and everything like that, not listening to me. He goes, that hurts.
Yeah.
They're gonna look at me, I'm weak. Right? Or you're insecure.
I think mom and dad's always gonna be in the play.
Yeah.
A pastor, forget it. You know,
or another man or another friend or anything like that, you know. So it's a lot of things how men look at things differently, but they're not safe to express them because they're gonna look at as weak. So they're not be able to express them, so they're suppressing it and suppressing it and suppressing it and suppressing it to a point where they may act out physically, right? Because we men, we're not going to act out like verbally because our advantage is physically. We might, and that's what the other guy was saying, goes, a man that's hard all the time, you don't want that type of man, you know, because that's how he's gonna react towards his problems. So you gotta give men grace and allow them to express themselves. It's not weak. Sometimes we just need to like let it out.
So you're saying, like, you know, if men were able to speak more and have women listen to them more, it might,
without judgment.
Without judgment, maybe the suicide rate amongst
it would help.
Overall.
Yeah.
Like, because at the end of the day, like they bottle so much stuff inside. Them. They deal with so much stuff. They can't vent to someone.
Think about what there's two incidents. The guy was talking about, don't let another person be your another man's voice, right? Then they were talking about women, don't use what he's telling you to win an argument. There's a trend there, meaning that men really care about what their woman thinks. So their voice is like our fist. We can hurt them with our fist because that's our advantage. They can hurt us with what they say. It's the same thing, but the accountability is not. We're held accountable for using our advantage, which is our physical stature. You know what I'm saying? And we should be held accountable if we're going to use that in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Same thing with women, but they're not held accountable. So we are forced to suppress it, right? not to give them that ammunition against us. It's not that we don't care about you. I don't want to get hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are the conversations that, man, like when I was going through like a breakup, and know what I was no advice I was getting from men: don't show no pain.
Yeah.
Don't show no pain. Don't show what you're going through, whatever. Don't show no pain. Don't let it bother you. Once you let it bother you, y'all gonna be lower on the totem pole. That's how it is. So you gotta act tough. You're not tough. But then you got like my friends that will call and like you'll break down, and after they break down, they pick up their bootstraps and they go on and they're strong men. But they needed that.
Yeah.
They needed that. But they needed that because they've been expressing so much. It was like boiling up, and it's like I got to release. So I was like, I don't know. It just I think we got to pay attention to, like, you know, men are so criticized. There's so much expectations. We're trying, and but society doesn't care about men.
I mean, I think there's a point too where like society and like, you know, men are like providers, and you know we gotta like try to bring so much to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, but I also feel like is it that far off where, say, because I also feel like men are, say, tougher, right? And is it because men will actually go through with it and commit suicide where a woman won't? Like, does a woman attempt suicide as a reason to get attention or help, where men actually go through with it more? So is that the big disparity in the percentage of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As opposed to, you know,
that could be a part of it, but also is a part of it where, I always say, this world is built for women. Women have a lot of safety nets. Men don't. You know, women are comfortable saying, I don't need a man. You ever hear a man say, I don't need a woman? Have you ever heard that?
I mean, I haven't heard that line, but
yeah. But women will say, I don't need a man, because everything's catered around them and making sure they're okay. And that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. But not to a point where you're not respecting, because who's providing you those things? So, but there's a lot of times where you going to work and you had a rough day at work, right? Your boss is getting on you. He's threatening to fire you. He's doing all this stuff like that. And y'all coming home, you're trying to you want something, you know? You don't get I'm sure when you was a police officer, there was a lot of stressful situations, and then but you had to suppress that when you got home and deal with whatever was going at home. And sometimes it probably affect you where you blew up,
yeah.
You know, and it's not necessarily has to do anything with her, but understanding like what men have to go through in everyday life. You know what I'm saying? We don't have nobody a provider and protector. We're our own provider and protector. And also, we're also your provider and protector. And we're proud of it, and we should be doing it. But understand that we're taking a lot of beatings. You ever see like an older couple, right? Real older couple. Who is always the vibrant one?
Be the woman.
Be the woman.
Yeah.
But you always see the man that's hunchback, can't drive. Why is that? They're the same age. It's because all that beating up. What? I see it all the time when I'm driving. Older couple. You know, there's always the woman driving. She's vibing. She's walking around, and the guy can barely walk.
I mean, I get that, Dave.
I appreciate you talking about me like that.
Yeah, physical.
I'm just putting a highlight on men. And I'm not dogging out women, but I think women need to understand how life beats us up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think we also, you know, like the topic, we need to understand why so many men are committing suicide.
That's one of the,
you know,
I'm not blaming all on women. It's
Yeah.
just, like, that's why I said society.
Society, yeah.
Yeah, society.
There was a situation in this town, in this city and a town, and where, you know, an official died. And I was analyzing that whole situation. I don't want to mention anything because it would I don't want anybody backlashing at me.
Yeah.
But the first thing I thought about in that whole situation, yeah, people and agencies are involved in it, but I said, what the hell's going on at home? Is he trying to tell us something, give us a message? And that was one of the things I talked about. I said, man, somebody needed to talk to this dude, and this probably would have never happened. And then the voice that you hear now is probably the voice that needed to talk to this man, you know. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I was looking at everything. And but yeah, oh man, I don't know. The situations are crazy, and men go through a lot. And most suicides that I've seen is usually a man, you know, in my lifetime.
80%.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I mean that's it's finances, it's like relationships, mm-hmm. it's health, right? Some people commit suicide because, you know, they got a cancer diagnosis and they're just, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean that shit happens too. I mean, probably a small percentage, but there's many reasons why men commit suicide. But I do feel men will go through it more than women. There's women that are dealing with health issues. There's women that are finances is a problem. There are women that are dealing with a breakup that they can't handle. But I think men are more apt to like do it.
I think women do it when it's a situation of abuse. And not being protected.
Mm-hmm.
Where they went to daddy, they went to mommy, they went to the police, they went to here, they went to there, right. They went to their best friends.
When all the resources
and then all of a sudden I'm free. Boom. And next day you get a black eye.
Think about like a woman too, though. Like, I mean, our kids love women,
mm-hmm.
right? There's that nurture. Okay, so if a man leaves his kid, okay, men. This is another conversation, but men leave their kids all the time.
Yeah.
Right. More than women. So a man might commit suicide and be like, you know, I'm done. I'm out. A woman might not want to leave her kids like that, and like, you know what I'm saying. So I think there's that dynamic too.
Mm-hmm. I lived it, seen it.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
I get it.
I tell it, like, you know, my uncle.
Yeah.
He committed suicide. Now I'm not gonna get into details of it, but there was things that he was dealing with that caused him to make that decision, and he was going through a lot. If it from him, whatever, if he made bad decisions or whatever, but it was not just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bunch of things that it got to a point, and this is he was a strong individual man, you know, and you know, I'm sure when people heard that he did this, it was very surprising, you know, because of the man that he was, but he didn't show it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't show it until that particular time that he made that decision that he was gonna do it. You know, so you gotta understand there's a lot more going into a man's head than what he is even expressing. You know, and sometimes you gotta, maybe it's not what's being said, it's how is he acting out?
Yeah.
Like, why are you acting that way? You know what I'm saying? Don't quit to call him a fucking asshole. You know, now some they're assholes, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, men just handle things in a more different aspect, and it could cause just crazy number where, you know, it's so much different. It's staggering numbers. So I want to bring that up because I like that number was such a big disparity. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
You know, and you look at it, you know, it's like, and understand like how men just don't want to be vulnerable, and sometimes you just need to talk and release and let it out, and it may stop someone to make a bad decision for suicide. So, but we're gonna continue to the next topic. Let's have fun now.
Let's go.
PK Subban, he is a hockey player that now a hockey analyst, and he went in on the NBA culture, where the NBA just, you know, this past weekend or the weekend before just, you know, surpassed their All-Star game, and wasn't even an All-Star game, but the All-Star weekend.
Yep.
And he talked about the NBA culture. Listen to what he had to say.
I think what we should do is, let's say, the world take on the American players in the NBA, kind of somewhat sort of, but what are you doing in the NHL? What do you think?
Well, listen,
Hockey's a different sport from the NBA. You can't compare the cultures because of the way the game is played. You can step on an NBA floor and go through the emotions. You can't do that in hockey. You can't. Like the culture of our sport, you have to play it with passion. You have to be willing to fight. You have to be willing to leave it on the ice. That's what fans are investing in. So for us, when we charge $1,500 for a ticket to come to Fort, fans know what they're getting. Cale Makar, the best defenseman in the world, wasn't in the lineup for this game. This was the most viewed game that we've had in years. And you see it, it's because it's not just based on the skill and talent. It's based on the pride, honor, playing for the guy next to you. I got a question for the NBA players. What the hell are you playing for? What are you playing for? It's not about the money. You make all the money. What, you're injured? Well, there's a difference between being hurt and injured. Are you hurt or are you injured? There's a difference. In hockey, we play hurt. We play injured. That is the culture of the sport. It's always been that way. So you want to talk about the business, the CBA, fans get all of that. But what do fans resonate with? They resonate with what's real. You got to fight sometimes for your country. You got to compete. You got to go out there and leave it on the ice because those people are paying the price of admission. So fans know whether our stars are on the ice or not, they're getting their money's worth. The NBA has that issue that they got to work on. You got to create a better culture for your players. It starts with the leaders. This issue, there was no issue when Jordan was around. There was no issue when Kobe was around. There's no issue when Sidney Crosby's around. There's no issue when Wayne Gretzky was around because those are true leaders. They lead by example. Sidney Crosby, Hockey Canada, those players, both Canada and U.S., it was the players that did that for the Four Nations. It's not the league. The league set it up, but the players went out there and decided and said, you know what, boys? We're all in. When is the NBA going to do that? Because, I haven't sat down and watched the NBA consistently since Kobe. Since Kobe has died, I have not sat down and watched the NBA consistently. I love basketball. Love the players. I think LeBron's great. I think KD's great. Steph Curry, love watching them. But you got to be on the court. You got to be there, and when you're there, you got to go all in. The fans got to feel that they're getting their money's worth. And right now, there's a big difference between what the NHL is doing with those events and what the NBA is doing. Four Nations works because the players are all in.
I get it. Four Nations in basketball, guess what? Bring it on. And guess what? Instead of that nasty League Cup they had, whatever, they played in the bubble. Why not? Why not have somebody, from other countries coming in? Canada. You look at that Canadian team in basketball coming into the NBA. Guess what? They sure improved. You grab some other European countries, come over, even some other countries, and create this 4 or 8, maybe 8 countries fighting it out in a tournament. That would be awesome instead of that all-star showcase. I mean, Jaylen Brown was right. He was right. If this was in Boston, it wouldn't be like this. There would be a lot of people there. And then I want to go back to some of the games in Europe. They're amazing. You see the stands in there. They're all jumping. We can't even do a wave in the United States. They're up there singing and dancing in unison, and bouncing around and chanting for their team. And it's a team of countrymen. It's 2 different teams, but they're going crazy. I love it. So bring it on.
Did you watch the hockey game?
I watched some of it. Was kind of flipping back and forth between, the Celtic game and the hockey game.
The hockey game before that. I'm not a hockey guy. Okay, but I watched it because so there you go. It brought so many people to watch it because of the 2 countries.
Yeah. And
if you saw it at the beginning when they were doing this game was in Canada when they did the American national anthem, the fans were booing.
Yeah.
And then the American players went out. Those 3 fights in the first 90 seconds or 9 seconds or something. Right? You see that?
Yeah.
Because they're like, you know what? No, you're not gonna boo it. Not gonna. And they won the game. So they have that passion that I don't think the NBA is ever gonna have.
Well, the hockey players say, "You want to boo my national anthem?" Or, all right, I can't go punch the old lady in the stands. I'm gonna go punch you right now.
Drop
Let's
the gloves.
go at it.
Drop
Boom,
the
boom,
gloves.
boom. oh man, that felt good. Now I can play some hockey.
They're not worried
And
about
I
getting hurt.
guarantee you during that game, they patted each other on the ass. Excuse my language, but they did that, you know, or shook hands. And
Yeah.
it was,
Some of their teammates with some, you know, because it's like, you know, United States, Canada. Some of these dudes are on the same team back in the NHL. So it's like, but they're going at it for country, right?
Yeah.
And that passion, and they're not afraid to get hurt, you know, because it's an all-star game, right? They're like, nah, we're gonna play. Yeah. NBA All-Star Weekend sucks. You know, really, I don't even really watch it. I like to watch the dunk contest.
Even baseball All-Star game, I don't like. I don't. I really baseball, football, basketball. They're all kind of deteriorated to practically nothing.
Yeah, the NFL. That's a waste
of it. You know.
But it goes down to the players, though.
I mean, I love the 3-point contest. I was watching that. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that I do like.
But your stars are not like I was telling Derek earlier. They're all about their brand.
Mm-hmm.
But understanding, if there's no league, there's no brand. There's no individual brand. So you got to sell the league, and the All-Star Weekend is one of those moments where you sell the league. Even when the type of play basketball, there's no really rivalries. You had the Lakers and Celtics, you know what I'm saying? You had the Bulls, the Pistons, you know. Yeah. You had even individual rivalries and things in that nature, and that's all gone, you know. And now everybody's just like, I just want to hoop. I just want to hoop. Yeah. They're making so much money, and I had a conversation with a gentleman that he was a little bit younger. And he posted something about this. And he goes, you know, people are always just comparing the guys from yesteryear and everything. Like, stop it. He goes, these are players now. Like, celebrate these players. They don't celebrate these players. There's a reason why they're not celebrating these players. Mm-hmm. It's the eye test.
Yeah.
We can tell you're not trying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You're not. Yeah. Are you injured or you're hurt? Like PK said. Are you really like, I want to win? You're taking the competition out of sport. That what makes sports so interesting because it's the competition, it's the fight and struggle. Now people are really saying, because the effort's not there, is it scripted?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're saying that about football. Is it scripted? You know what I'm saying? Because why do you feel like it needs to be scripted? Because they're really not trying.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what. So it looks scripted because you're really not trying. You're making all this money. You're worried about hurt. You're worried about getting hurt. When you're making millions and millions and millions of dollars.
I mean, I think he was more talking like, again, the basketball players, the NBA. So I mean, I feel football has a good product, has an awesome product. You know, as far as their All-Star game, which is they call it the Pro Bowl. You know, that's garbage because you know it's after the season.
That always was never like a big deal, but you really feel like the product of football is good, or I think it has gone down.
I mean, dude, it's got so many viewers every week.
Yeah, because people love the game of football.
That's what I'm saying.
But you could, I mean, the Pro Bowl, get rid of that, and now do this annual multi-country, you know, tournament. And it'll do it. You could do it in football. You could
I think football's a little bit different because
you can do 4 teams.
Yeah, but dudes can take hits and career-ending injuries.
Well, yeah, I get that.
So it's a little more difficult to have a.
Yeah.
I just think that, you know, with football and basketball, when it comes to their Pro Bowl or All-Star game, I think it's gotten to the point where it should be, you know, just a clip, a news article saying, hey,
name them.
Top 10, boom, there you are, you made the All-Star. If you need to negotiate that in your next contract, you can negotiate it. But when it comes to this game, it's not something that I enjoy, you know. I forget what league it was where they maybe it's the N1 tournament, I don't know. But remember when they put markers on the court, you know, if you shot from the circle, it was 10 points.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know if I want you know, if anything, put that 10 points right in the bucket.
Yeah.
You know, just change it up. All right.
They're just trying to create incentives for players to care, and what they're trying to do is give them more money. And it's getting to the point, no matter how much money they don't even care about that anymore because they're making so much.
So much guaranteed money.
Yeah, and it's all part of it. You say culture and everything. It's their negotiations, right? You know, if we want to negotiate something in the companies that we work for, you know, and all right, guess what? I don't want, you know, I want to play some music in the lobby, you know, or I want to do this, you know, or put a TV in there.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's all the culture amongst the company that wants that.
Mm-hmm.
And the NBA, guess what? Whatever's going on in the NBA and how it is, it's all in the collective bargaining with the players and the owners, and they come up with this product, you know. Load management and everything else. It just, Carl Anthony Towns, you know, today got hurt in the game.
Yeah.
He's limping off.
Yeah.
He's on the sideline. He's laying his 6'10" or 6'11" body across a couple of chairs, several chairs, and then he walks into the locker room and he comes out and he plays. Yo, dude, be a man, man up, walk into the locker room like Willis Reed and walk into the locker room, go get fixed up, and they come out. No, you want to showcase your softness, you freaking.
I tell you, like I remember so many times when Jordan was hurt, he had a pulled hamstring, and they wrapped that up, and he's playing, and he still go for 50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I mean,
that's not even an exaggeration. He's done that.
I completely agree with you. I'm not going to dismiss anything you're saying. However, I do feel there's a little bit of the management that are like, you know, we're paying you, you know, $300 million. You're not going out there until you're 100%.
It could be.
So you know what I'm saying? I think there's that dynamic too. Same thing with Jordan. So back in the day, Jordan didn't play when he was hurt. His first major injury, they kept him out of the lineup for months and months and months, and then limited his minutes because they didn't want him to.
They didn't even want him to play.
So I'm saying,
but he went to North Carolina and started playing,
right?
And they were like, "Yo, I'm playing."
But that's what I'm saying. So even back then, the management were like, "Until you're 100, because we had too much invested in you."
But as the player, at the end of the day, people are paying money to go see you as a player. Don't cheat the consumer.
Right.
Like you're paying all this money, and then play like LeBron is backing out of the All-Star game last minute. I don't know what that was about. Maybe that was short the league or whatever like that. But that's not a short league. That's a short to the consumer.
That's selfish.
Even if he was hurt, you could have played a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Just to see you on the court.
Yeah, and you know how many players on that roster played only 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he could have been out there.
Did that, you know, do something.
He was selfish. He didn't want to give his spot to somebody else. So I'm not a LeBron person.
7 days later, would score 40 points.
I'm not a LeBron person at all.
I don't know, me either. So,
remember that All-Star game when it was like Allen Iverson and Stephon Marbury, and they came back to win. They were going at it.
Yeah, right.
Or like Kobe was hitting a three, and Stephon Marbury came back and hit it. Like they're really playing, and you got the best going against the best, and it was like, yeah, you want to see that, and that builds up to league, and then that gets you excited for the second half of the second half of the season.
Plus, like the dunk contest.
Yeah.
Like, dude, who are these dudes dunk contests?
The stars don't even do it.
They don't want to do it. Ja Morant. I mean, they say they're gonna do it now, supposedly, but why ain't they doing it?
Yeah.
They don't want to compete.
Come on, man. You got to sell the league, because that's why you're making a lot of money, because you can't build your brand without no league.
Yeah.
What's that?
They wasn't even in the stands. You look at it. None of the stars were in the stands.
No, they weren't.
Contest.
Yeah.
You don't even care about the league that's helping you make your brand. That's a smack in the face to consumers.
Yeah.
They really don't care about you. Don't idolize these players if they're not going to even respect the fact that I'm spending my hard-earned money to come see you, and you can't even play. Come on.
We should do a Black History Month before we.
Yeah. We've got enough time with that. 15 minutes. All right. Again, it's Black History Month, and we want to highlight a lot of things that, because I believe Black history is American history. So I'm going to play this clip. This is a man, he called himself the White George, and he speaks a lot about facts, about the contributions that, African American and Black people contribute to the world, to this country. So listen to this. Hold on 1 second.
I want to tell you a story about how Black history created white history that's creating today Black history that's now part of my personal history. I'm talking about Jack Daniels and Uncle Dearest. I'm really honest. This is one of the most fascinating stories I tell. I love this story. In the 1840s, a young man named Jasper Newton Daniels was born around Lynchburg, Tennessee, but his exact birth date's unknown. But soon after the Civil War started, he became an orphan, and he was working local jobs around town when a local businessman named Dan Call brought him out to his plantation for work when he saw that young Jasper had an interest in distilling. Now, the Call plantation had a distillery on it, and Dan Call had rented some enslaved Black Americans to help with his distillery. And one of his enslaved Americans' name was Nathan Uncle Nearest Green, and he was a whiz at distilling. But one of the things that made him really unique and special is that from his African heritage, he knew to distill whiskey over charcoal. So young Jasper was fascinated with this, and he and Nathan Uncle Nearest Green became fast friends. Now let's fast forward until 1875, when Jack Daniels was officially opened, and Nathan Uncle Nearest Green worked for him. Now those two remained friends for the rest of their lives, and Nathan Uncle Nearest Green was actually accepted into white society quite well because he did help create this liquid amber gold that white people love so much. Now let's fast forward to 2016. A woman named Fawn Weaver was on vacation with her husband in Singapore, I believe, when she came across this story. She was so inspired and motivated by it. When she got back to the States, she flew to Lynchburg, Tennessee, and she started uncovering documents related to the Nathan Uncle Nearest Green story, which blew it wide open. I believe she found over 10,000 documents related to it, which have been donated to the African American Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C. But what did Fawn Weaver do with all this information? Well, she decided to start what we know as Uncle Nearest Whiskey. Listen, this story gets even better. She found a woman named Victoria Edie Butler to become her master distiller because they found that her taste palette was like once in a generation with the notes she could detect in the whiskey. So they started off this whiskey brand, and in 7 years, it's the fastest growing whiskey brand in American history. It's the largest Black-owned liqueur brand in the world. They've won just about every award there is for whiskey manufacturing and distilling. And I believe it's the last 11 consecutive quarters they've had over 100% growth. That's phenomenal. I mean, Fawn Weaver's no joke. She's a titan of her industry. I predict she'll be the next Black American female billionaire. But now, how does this affect my own history? Well, you see, when we visited the distillery, Anna met someone named Terrell or Sketch. And Sketch is a tour guide there. And we met him and we hit it off really well. So last fall, when we were in New York, I got to speak on stage at the Apollo. So we brought Terrell to New York, Uncle Nearest employee. And while I spoke on stage, he performed art. It's because his mother's dream is to always see him perform art on stage at the Apollo. So he did it while I gave my talk. And I let him say hi to his mom on stage. I let him close the show. But I wore this shirt on stage at the Apollo. And I believe it's probably the first time Uncle Nearest has been worn on stage at the Apollo. It's like, I thought that was cool. But I absolutely love this story because it's literally how Black history, Nathan Uncle Nearest Green, helped Jack Daniels create what was then the most popular whiskey brand in the world. Black history created white history, which is now starting the Uncle Nearest Whiskey, which is Black history. And I wore this on stage in the distillery, so now it's in my history. Black history is American history.
So what do you have to say?
That's my favorite drink, man. You had a little history, infamous history on it. But
Jack?
I Jack and Coke, give it to me. That's a go-to for me. But I like that story only because it circled back and it's helping out the family now. And but I just like that. That's a good story. And but they took from everybody. They took, and hey, even in Motown, they were taking from people. And so, but anyways, I like it, and I'll always be a fan of Jack Daniels, even though there's infamous stories out there.
Get that new whiskey.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to.
Is this the end? I gotta know. Is this the end?
Yes, it's the end of another episode of the Frequency L.I.V.E. We are here every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Download the WNB1 radio app because you can listen to us wherever you're at. go to the WMB1.com and be on the lookout for the Record Room video highlighting some good artists. Is like a tiny desk feel that, you know, something that WMB1 Radio is doing also. But great show, guys. What do you think?
Great show as always. I love chatting up different conversations with you guys.
Yeah.
The I just want everyone to remember that you were talking about Black History Month, but remember and check out the New Bedford Historic Society, which I'm on the board. You know, and they have many stories that happened within the city. Frederick Douglass was a neighbor of WNB1 Radio here at 262 Union Street. He resided right around the corner on 7th Street at the Polly Johnson House, and also he lived down the street at the bottom of Union Street. And he was a resident for a little while, and then he moved on. But I want to let you know that the New Bedford Historic Society has very amazing stories, and if you can go on their website, check it out. And you know, and if you ever need anything, we're going to do some tours in the cemeteries. There's a lot of abolitionists that were buried in the city along Dartmouth Street and Rural Cemetery. There's a corner over there, and many abolitionists that are there, and they tell a story and how they helped out this country during the time of slavery. So that's my closing remarks.
Good stuff.
All right, good stuff. So we'll be back here Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a lot more good topics, great conversations. Appreciate everybody that commented and listened. So we want to thank everyone, and we'll be back. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone. Okay.
Yeah.